We're here with our old friend, Richard Toccato, the Richard Toccato Companies. Now, Richard, you just told me something very important that you wanted me to say, but I don't remember what it was, so can you say it for me? It was something about numbers and percentages and things that I don't understand.
This is the best way for loan officers to keep the majority of the revenue that they earn every year, just like a real estate agent.
Got it.
You know, real estate agents pay what we call a cap in industry. Normally, it's around $16,000 to $20,000, and then after they pay in their commission to reach that for the company, they keep 100% of it. So we're going to do the same thing at Richard Toccato Companies. You as a loan officer are going to pay us a cap of $16,000, and everything else you keep, everything else you earn is yours. So real quick, an example: if you make $200,000 in a year, I'm going to take $16,000 of it, and then you're going to keep $184,000. The traditional model that loan officers work on now, they do $200,000 in revenue, and they keep about $80,000 or $100,000.
Really?
So this is going to change the game. We're going to do what other real estate firms have been doing for years, but we're doing it on the mortgage broker side.
And this is something that's not being done anywhere. It's totally different.
Totally different, not being done anywhere else. We're also going to have revenue share. So if you bring loan officers to us, you're going to make money off. You're going to make money from a downline, just like EXP or Keller Williams.
Wow.
So it's you got to check it out. Just go to workwithrichard.info. It's simple. Workwithrichard.info. See if it's for you. Give me a call. Let's have a conversation.
Okay, you want me to try to say it?
Yeah, you say it.
Check it out. Workwithrichard.info.
Hi, I'm Thomas Davis, and let me tell you why I'm a proud member of Team Neogenics.
If your nagging pain is keeping you from being active, do something about it. Join the long list of pros and average Joes who have found relief with our stem cell and regenerative therapies.
After trying all the others, I decided to try Neogenics. My knees and shoulders haven't felt this good since my college days. If you want to get back in the game, do what I did. Visit Neogenics, where all you have to lose is pain.
Our nation's second president, John Adams, always slept on the left side of the bed. He believed this would increase his chances of having positive dreams and a more successful next day. That's why every mattress we sell here at Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress includes a left side.
And for those that prefer waking up on the right side of the bed, our mattresses come with one of those too.
This President's Day, you can save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic sets. Only at Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress.
It's the Ace and TJ Show with a little extra. Uncensored, unedited, and almost uninterrupted. Get ready for the most extra podcast known to man. The Ace and TJ Show presents the Extra Funny Podcast.
You know, I realized something. I am way too nice to ever be what is called now a food influencer. Basically, a food critic on social media. Because I don't ever see me being able to go, if I don't like the restaurant, and then calling them out by name and saying this was terrible, that was terrible. You know, right. I'm far too sweet to be able to do that.
Yeah. I
mean, you know, when you're such a kind soul that it's detrimental to, you know, your livelihood, that's where I am. That's where I am on the whole thing. But there's a very pretentious fella in Brooklyn who calls himself a filmmaker and food influencer. And the way I know that he's pretentious is because he has 4 names.
That's a good way to know.
Like, you're too important just to have 3 like everybody else. Yeah. Luis Carlos Alvarez Zaragoza is his name. Okay. So, just kidding about the name situation. But he is pretentious. So he says that he went into a 2-star Michelin restaurant called Sushi Naz. And, I mean, he's just ripping this place apart. Oh. This was terrible. That's terrible. Not worth the money and all that. Oh, and they're sexist, is basically what he's saying. Because they give women smaller portions than they give men.
Really?
Yeah. He says that he's alleging that the dining experience with the seasonal omakase menu which is in other cultures, they would call that, letting the chef feed you.
Right.
They choose whatever they're going to give you that night. You just go with whatever they suggest. They do that at Buca di Beppo, right? Don't they have that at that Italian chain, Buca di Beppo? And they have Emeralds does that as some of his restaurants as well. But he said that they gave them all certain size portions, and everybody was a man except for one, and then they told her she was getting the smaller portions. Oh, well, then he turns it into a whole they're sexist thing and all of that. But they say that it is the culture. You're in there and you're wanting to enjoy the full culture of the restaurant, and the culture in Japan, when they do these things, is that women get smaller portions.
Then there you go.
So, do you want the full experience or do you not want the full
Right.
experience?
Before that, I would have said, yeah, everybody should get the same thing because you are assuming the lady doesn't want as much. But if it's a cultural thing, hey, this is the way you would, if you were in Japan, this is what would happen because that's the culture.
Yeah, and so basically he was saying, I'm all for culture until I disagree with it. Then, otherwise he'd be standing up and just roasting anybody who said something against whatever their culture is that he likes. So their culture is something that he doesn't like. So now he's going to call them out and want to change it.
Yeah.
I can understand being confused when you see that come out and you're like, oh, that's interesting. They gave the woman a smaller portion. But then that would lead you to go, hey, did you do that on purpose or find out why that's happening?
And it should, especially if you're writing an article, you should take a moment to ask someone in advance. Hey, I'm curious about this.
But you get far more play out of accusing some place of being sexist than you do by just reviewing their food.
Yeah, but it does make you irresponsible.
Yeah, and it also makes
really
you
does.
It also makes you dumb because women should be eating smaller portions than men. You idiot.
Yeah.
How do you not know that? You know what happens when women eat the same size portions as men? They get fat. And nobody wants to be responsible for making that happen.
Yeah.
And it's not sexist at all. I'm kidding. But in all seriousness, women don't need to be eating as much as men. Because it does things to them that it doesn't do to us.
Right. I wish I hadn't said right.
No, I'm kidding about that. But this is what you get. This is what you get. You want to go enjoy, pretend like you're so worldly and everything, and then you're going to go into some Japanese restaurant and pay $700 for this experience, and then you're going to complain what the culture is like. Before that, you're probably strutting around like a rooster, telling all of your friends, all your liberal friends in New York, yeah, we're going to experience the Japanese culture. We're really getting into the culture tonight. And then they do something you don't like, and you're like, F that culture.
Yeah.
F them and their culture. The restaurant responded, and they said, we would never just make women have a smaller portion. When we're doing that, a lot of times they'll ask, do you want smaller portions of rice? Yeah. Because we have a lot more coming, and you'd be completely full, and you may not eat the rest of it. And he said that there was probably, a language barrier thing. It was a misunderstanding. And the guy's like, no, F that.
Yeah. It's already got the Michelin stars. Like, it's been vetted. It's not like you're going into like the KKK diner or something.
Right. But TJ's right. Now he wants to go in and say, well, it's got the Michelin stars. Now I'm gonna be the one to get the attention of bringing them down. I'm gonna try to find a reason why this is not as great as everybody else says, because that's how he gets attention.
But you think the woman complained?
I don't know.
Yeah, I would be curious to know if she said anything to the people at the table. She said, I wonder why I got smaller portions than everybody else.
She was probably, if it's a New York woman hanging out with a bunch of liberal men, then she was probably throwing a fit.
Could be.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Why don't you see me?
Notice me.
Septimarine, green hair, the whole thing. That's what I'm picturing. You're like, I want more.
$700 for sushi too?
Yeah.
I'd be kind of pissed.
Oh wait, it was $700.
Yeah, $700. And then one of the things that, but if they would have charged her less, then that would have been, a different story. It's just like, look at it, go, hey, this is what they do. It's part of the experience. Everything is not, some sort of an agenda against, whoever you're with or who your friend is or a slight at you. It wouldn't be a problem if you just stick to eating American food like you're supposed to.
Right. There you go.
I mean, I'm all for eating sushi, Americanized sushi and everything like that. I love it. But once you want to step into some kind of craziness like that, you're just asking for some sort of confusion going on.
Where would I find Americanized sushi?
Across the street, place called Joel's.
Okay, fair enough.
Joel's Sushi. This place is not called Joel's. This place is called something like
Sushi Nas.
Yeah, Sushi Nas.
Didn't you guys have a sushi named after you? That would be Americanized, right?
Yeah, the Kick Ace and TJ roll is what it was called.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's as American as you can get.
Yeah, it's still on the menu at that place.
That is authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are authentic.
That's right.
Hell yeah. So, stop going to these places that you just want all their culture until they do something to offend you. Because guess what? Other cultures don't give a shit what you think. Running around with your little liberal social media reviews and all.
I'm going to slam you on Yelp.
Yeah,
You don't see Gordon Ramsay
don't care.
going off to all these exotic places and all and bashing herbs and stuff on a rock with another rock, eating those people's traditional meals and all, and then telling them they're screwed up.
Right.
He sits down and he eats it. It's like, I see what you did here. Great. He's not going over there going, oh, this is terrible, like it's Hell's Kitchen episode. He's like, this is your shit. It's your shit. I'm going to eat it.
Yeah. One time he was in Iceland. He was like, we're going to bake bread in the ground. And they literally dig a hole and bury this bread. And I'm like, I bet that tastes like shit.
But he will say he doesn't like it. Sometimes he'll taste, go, oh yeah, that's too much for me or whatever. But he's not telling them they shouldn't do it that way.
No.
Yeah, Anthony Bourdain actually just went and immersed himself in the culture when he tried the foods around the world.
Yeah. But if I'm this restaurant, I'm really, really looking at just the slightest way that I could get a lawsuit against this guy.
Just to tear him apart.
Just to fire a lawsuit up his ass like a rocket.
Yeah, that's why restaurants don't want these influencers in there because they don't,
But when you're accusing them of being sexist,
yeah.
I mean, that's another thing.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on that. And the moral of the story is only eat Americanized foreign food.
Amen.
There you go.
It's the Ace and TJ Show with a little something extra. This is the Extra Funny Podcast.
When it comes to losing weight, sometimes you don't even know where to start. You know that it needs to happen, but you need some help. Well, you start by going to acetj.com/weight loss and ordering Calitrin. Calitrin is scientifically proven to help you lose weight, and it is not a drug. It is not a drug. Repeat that. So here's what you do. You go to acetj.com/Calitrin, order 3 months, and then you'll get 3 months free. 4 months free. That's how it works with Calitrin.
Winter is here, which means you're just going to stay inside and not do anything fun and exciting, right? No, that is wrong, because this year you're going to go to acetj.com/Gaston and see all of the incredible things that you can do right now in Gaston County. Everything is laid out for you, from things to do, to restaurants, to bars, to shopping, to unique weekend activities. And we'll get you ready for the spring and the summer with a list of all their great festivals. Find all of this and much more at acetj.com/Gaston.
If you're so frustrated because you're having to run around all the time, you're so busy, you feel like you're not getting your family something great to eat, then you need Culver's. It's the perfect thing for you. Always made to order, fresh, hot ingredients all day, every day.
And not only do they have the freshest ingredients all day, every day, but they are a part of the community. They're proud to be a part of the Indian Trail community where they're under new ownership. Belmont, University area, Salisbury. Make them a part of your daily routine. Make it your new neighborhood spot. Short waits for the freshest food in town. Get details at acetj.com/Culver's.